7M. Scared it might break. Oh, look, it's not breaking. Anyways, we have 7M. So we should probably do what's right and just put it in the car. So we're gonna do that. Actually, I'm gonna do that. And I'll probably have a good time doing it. So this is it. Done deal. Bearings, guts, stuff, all new. Kept the titanium I-beams. Oh, sorry. I mean steel I-beams. Anyways, steel I-beams. Really a nice piece from Cunningham. So we kept the rods, kept the cams, little bits here and there. The same damper, but basically all new. Bearing clearances are still like factory with the billet mains. Nice billet mains. Not that we needed them because Bruce said that the caps weren't moving around at all. They were all like still shreddable for sure. So you guys with those 7Ms, you might not need to waste money on billet mains like I did, but let me be the guinea pig. Same thing with the half fill. Let me be the guinea pig and I will let you guys know if it works on a street for a street car. I don't know if there's any other half-filled 7Ms out there on the street. I haven't heard of any or seen any other ones, so I think this might be the first one. I know a friend of mine, Gary, has a fully filled 7M, a rail car in Greece, making crazy power. That's a different story. I still want to take this, you know, wherever you'd take a normal car. So I'll let you guys know if it works or not. If you wanted to half fill your 7M, what you need to know is the water pump grabs coolant from the very bottom of the water jacket. So you got to rig up some sort of bladder in there so it will let the coolant flow down to the bottom of the water jacket at the very front of the block so the water pump can do its job. So Bruce basically rigged up some sort of like an industrial like balloon bladder thing, filled it up with air, and then he poured the concrete in. Apparently it's going to help 1.5 tons with rigidity, and the same thing with expansion in the cylinders. I mean, we're not going to see so much expansion, which they tell me also is a good thing. I'm not a scientist, so I took the man's word for it. Neither am I going to pretend to know everything that he said. So, half fill, billet mains, new guts, let's send it. And we will. I don't know if you guys have any other questions, but you can let me know. If you want to get down to the specifics of it, we might be able to work out some sort of a video of Bruce. Send me the questions and I'll talk to him and we'll see maybe if we can do a Q&A thing. Now that Bruce has had some experience with a 7M, if you guys have questions, we might be able to work that out. Shelby's got to come back to the shop when she's done working and finish wrapping this exhaust manifold. This is the break-in oil. Well, it's not even break-in oil apparently because it's not needed. So we have Driven to Win racing oil. 1040, pretty standard stuff really. I've been advised to start it, run the engine 2,000 to 5,000 RPM, kind of all over the place. Some load, some low load rev, just to coat the cylinder walls with oil and help those rings seal up. Once it's to temp, I will replace my oil filters and top it up. No oil change till after the first race weekend. So I've been told. So we're going to take the man's recommendation and do that. On August 20th, we will be in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. We will be at the Test and Tune night at Saskatoon International Raceway. Just sending the car on pump gas, seeing if it holds together. That'll be the real test. If it holds together after that, I'll probably just turn it to 30 or so pounds of boost and just leave it there, and it can live at around 1,000. I have zero interest in driving it on any less than 1,000 horsepower from now on. Now that I have peace of mind that this is going to last a long time, I see no reason why we should roll it around on baby boost anymore. So that's my plan. After that race weekend, on August 28th, we will be back in Saskatoon for Driven. It's a large car show in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It's going to be a good time. There will be like two-step stuff, and I don't really know what else. A bunch of cool cars. We'll check that out as well. We will film some content there as well. Those are my plans for this month of August. Short of that, I'm just going to get to work putting all this stuff back together, because I know stuff's going to go wrong and I know stuff's going to leak. Sooner I get to it, the better, really. So I'm going to leave you guys there with that. Maybe Shelby will show you how to wrap one of these runners later, if you guys want to wrap your own exhaust manifolds. I know it's not rocket science, but she seems to have figured out some sort of system, so maybe we'll film that later. Woo. Happy days though. I don't know how I did it myself with the trans in the car and solid engine mounts, but it took some doing. But that's it. It's home. We're gonna keep on assembling. I'm gonna lock this baby down. I've been toying with the heater core hoses. If you guys remember, there's a factory one over here and a XRP line over there on this side with a temp sensor in it. So I don't exactly want factory routing, so I have to figure something out. I think I'm going to, because this would go to like a heater bypass valve deal, and then I believe this one would go into there, right? Doot. Like that. But we have no heater control. So I am going to figure out, I'm gonna make a 90 somewhere. We're gonna have to cut up these nice new pipes. I'm gonna make a 90 here, try to get maybe a straight fitting, a barbed fitting, then the insert for my temp sensor, and then a 90, and then I'll use another little piece of this pipe to go into the heater core. Sucks to cut up new stuff, but it's going to be a lot better than one XRP line and one factory bulged line. The master at work. Ooh, starters. And it's bolted in now. So hopefully it doesn't blow up, because I don't want to take this out anytime soon. Okay, special guest appearance from Lady Ella pipe wrapping.
Yes, I'm learning how to heat wrap these pipes. It's a progress. We have these clips that we're using. They are not the greatest. Usually, I guess wire is better, I have learned. We have definitely broken a few, but I'm getting better at it. I'm learning how to use the drill a little bit slower to tighten them up and take the metal off at the ends. So when you start out, you'll obviously have these ends that are a bit frayed looking. I always tuck them in, sometimes even fold them, and then you just want to make sure you wrap it super tight. This is what I'm learning. You want to always twist it, wrap it super tight as you go. You don't want to pull on this too much or too tight because you will end up fraying the ends, so it can start looking a bit frayed. I usually start pulling through with the very end piece so that it doesn't fray. Sometimes you'll do it over and over and over again just to get it right, and I have. This is probably the second piece I've started using on this pipe.
Okay, so, but how do you start it? Okay, so where did you start from?
I started from up here. And you probably do want to wear gloves because it has fiberglass in it and it's a bit itchy.
So wear gloves.
Yes.
Start from the turbo side and
yep.
work your way up the runner to the cylinder head so it stays tight.
Yes. And
or you can see it especially, right?
Yes, and you want to keep squeezing it tight but not overly so much that it's going to fray. And you want to be careful when you're pulling it through. And I always end up twisting it by accident, but overlap it a little bit and pull the sides and just make sure that that stays tight, pulling it in the opposite direction on each side. And then I find a way to get it back through where sometimes the pipe is so close together it's hard, so you either have to bring it further up or further down and then bring it back up from there.
Okay, so keep it tight and keep making sure it's tight as you work up the runner. And I guess we'll show you how these clips work when we get to the very top of yes. the exhaust runner. Okay, show us how these clamps work.
Okay.
Let's look at them first.
Okay, so this is what they look like. Pretty simple. Slip it through like that. And then tighten at the end, and we'll show you that. We are at the end of this one. I just did a double wrap just to kind of match the other ones and make it look extra good. And I folded the fray at the back just because we want it to look nice and tight and decent. So now usually I just check the back of it. As you can see here, I kind of just lean it up, make sure those frays are pushed in, and then I awkwardly take this clamp and stick it together, as so. And I'm going to pull it in as much as I can with my fingers as I go, awkwardly of course. And then the drill will be what pulls this extra tight so that it doesn't have room to move around. I also want to check and make sure on the front, just for looks purposes, that it's, you know, straight and kind of lined up with the other ones. Now it's gonna
okay, long story short, she screwed one of those up, so she put them on.
Okay.
You need to show people so you can't be in the way. Let me just switch sides.
So that has tightened that up. If you go farther with the drill, sometimes it splits that in half, so we want to just
and then you just cut off the excess. Finished wrap job. Looks mint. More stuff's happening, but I think this is probably about where I'm gonna leave it because it is like late now. All right, I don't think I'm gonna film any more assembly. You guys basically saw all the big stuff. All that's left is put the manifold in, turbo on, downpipe, attach the oil lines. I have some more, like a main power feed I have to run down here, and put the rad in, fill it up with stuff basically, and you know, start it. We're one fitting shy of making my secret sauce heater core hoses. Actually, this one fit perfect. I just had to, like, you know, cut it a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't have had to cut it, but whatever. And you can tell probably what's going to happen here. So we're going to snip this here, and get another straight piece, because I bought a straight and like a 30 or a 45, I don't even know, some sort of bend. But that's that. See you. Okay, updating. Whistling throttle body. So that's off. This beast was unadvisedly sealed as well. Coolant leak from that 90 on the heater core pipes, and oil leak from the back of the cam cover. So I can only assume they're loose or stripped. So we will oil leak, coolant leak, vacuum leak, but the work never ends. See you guys next time.